So, I mean, obviously there wasn't a blueprint to follow. I guess, like a lot of companies generally during this time. But from having sort of hired remotely and built this team remotely, then what have been some of the learnings you've had then through this process?
For me, the most important learning is that interviewees and hiring managers have to have more patience with this digital world and digital interaction, right? A lot of people might not feel very comfortable or might not excel like they would in a physical environment, right? Because they're sat behind the screen. So you need to be prepared to allow a bit more time for that person to express their thoughts, explain who they are, go through that. If you're doing a business challenge like we did, make sure you allow them enough time to be able to present properly, right? Ask questions. Don't be critical right away. Don't try to judge somebody's work. If you see that they are stuck a little bit, and as you correctly mentioned before, they won't have all the information. They won't have all the inside information that I have. If you give them business challenge about your company, they are guessing to a certain extent, plus whatever homework they can do. So you need to allow them that time by being patient and by asking them the right questions to make sure that they give you what you need, and also make them feel comfortable, right? The worst thing you can do is in this environment where it's very much, I wouldn't call it emotionless, because you can still see the other person and their, any kind of facial characteristics or any kind of expressions that they do, but it's still not the same by being in the same room, right? You can't read body language. So therefore, you need to make sure that you fill in that gap by being more empathetic and asking questions, and being a bit more patient with that person who's actually interviewing. Some people might be really good, right? Some people might have practiced so much that they, Zoom calls or team calls or any calls for them are like, like it's like a game. They get it, but not everybody is in the same space, especially if you're talking to younger people who are just starting their career. They're a bit in more junior roles, so they haven't done interviews before or as many as you would like to.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Sounds good.